Something is wrong with you, and you have known it for a while now. You sleep, you wake up tired, you push through the day on caffeine and sheer willpower. You tell yourself tonight will be different. You go to bed early, you sleep again, and you wake up just as exhausted as the morning before. Over and over, day after day, week after week. And the worst part is not the tiredness itself. The worst part is that nobody can tell you why. Your doctor says your results are normal. Your friends say you just need to relax. Every article you read says drink more water and go to bed earlier. You have tried all of it. Nothing works. And deep down, you have started to wonder if this is just your life now. If this is just what getting older feels like. If this is just the price of living in the modern world. It is not. What is happening to you is not normal. It is not inevitable. And it is absolutely not in your head. There is a precise biological reason why you are exhausted. There are actually several reasons running silently inside your body every single night while you lie there completely unconscious. And not one of them has anything to do with how many hours you spent in bed. The medical system has had decades to find these answers and give them to you. It has not. And by the end of this video, you are going to understand exactly why. Because the story of why you are always tired is not a health story. It is a story about information that was hidden in plain sight. Information that was always there, that you were simply never given. Stay with me, because what we are about to uncover is going to change everything. Let's start with the lie. The one you were told so many times by so many people in so many places that it never even occurred to you to question it. 8 hours of sleep. That is the rule. That is the standard. That is what your body needs. 8 hours. You have heard it your entire life, from your parents, from your doctor, from every health article ever written. 8 hours, non-negotiable, the magic number. But what if that number was never based on your body at all? Here is what actually happened. In the early 1800s, during the Industrial Revolution, factory workers were being forced to work 16 and 18 hours a day in brutal conditions. A labor activist named Robert Owen launched a campaign with one simple slogan: 8 hours labor, 8 hours recreation, 8 hours rest. It was a workers' rights movement, a fight for human dignity against exploitation, and it worked. The movement spread, the slogan stuck, and somewhere in the decades that followed, that political slogan quietly became a medical standard. Not because any scientist had studied the human body and determined that 8 hours was the optimal sleep duration, but because the number sounded reasonable, and nobody questioned it. That is the foundation of everything you've been told about sleep. A 19th century labor campaign slogan. Not science, not medicine, a slogan. And here's where it gets darker. Because modern sleep research has known for years that sleep needs vary enormously between individuals. Some people genuinely thrive on 6 hours. Others are destroyed by anything less than 9. There is no universal number. But more importantly, and this is the thing that changes everything, the number of hours you sleep is not what determines how rested you feel. What determines how rested you feel is what is happening inside your body during those hours. And for most people, what is happening is far from what it should be. Which brings us to the part of the story that nobody ever tells you. While you are lying there unconscious, your brain is not resting. It is working, cycling through 4 completely different stages of sleep over and over again, roughly every 90 minutes, each one doing something different, something critical. And if any of those stages get disrupted, cut short, or skipped entirely, you wake up depleted, regardless of how many hours you were in bed. Here is why that matters for you specifically. Stage 3 is deep sleep. This is where your body physically repairs itself. Growth hormone is released, tissue is rebuilt, your immune system consolidates its defenses, your blood pressure drops to its lowest point of the entire day. This is the stage that makes you feel physically rested. Without enough of it, your body accumulates a physical debt that caffeine cannot touch. And then there is REM sleep. This is the stage that most people have heard of, but almost nobody truly understands. During REM, your brain becomes almost as active as when you are fully awake, and it does something extraordinary. It processes everything that happened to you emotionally during the day. It consolidates your memories. It regulates your psychological state. It essentially performs a nightly reset on your mental and emotional health. REM sleep is what determines whether you wake up sharp or foggy, motivated or flat, emotionally regulated or already irritable before the day has even started. Now here is the twist that most people never learn. The proportion of REM in each cycle increases dramatically as the night progresses. Your first cycle might give you 10 minutes of REM. Your fourth or fifth cycle in the early morning hours might give you 45 minutes. Which means the majority of your most critical brain restoration happens in the final hours of sleep, between 6 and 8 in the morning. So when your alarm cuts off your sleep at 6 or 7 a.m., you're not just losing hours, you're amputating the most important part of the night, the part your brain needed most, and you will feel every missing minute of it all day long. But sleep stage disruption is only the first layer of this problem. Underneath it, something else has been quietly breaking down, something hormonal, something that for many people has been failing for years without them ever knowing it had a name. There is a hormone your body is supposed to release every single morning, automatically, like clockwork. A powerful surge that floods your system with alertness and energy the moment you open your eyes. Scientists call it the cortisol awakening response. And when it is working properly, it is remarkable. It sharpens your focus. It elevates your mood. It mobilizes energy from your cells. It is your body's built-in espresso shot, delivered every morning for free, timed perfectly to your alarm. That feeling of waking up ready, feeling like the day is possible, feeling like you have energy to spend, that is not luck. That is cortisol doing exactly what it was designed to do. Now here's the part that will make everything click. When you live under chronic stress, and chronic stress does not mean crisis-level stress, it means the persistent low-grade pressure of deadlines and financial worry and relationship tension and the constant noise of modern life, your cortisol system begins to malfunction. Your adrenal glands, the small organs above your kidneys responsible for producing cortisol, lose their responsiveness. The signal goes out every morning, but nothing answers. And instead of that sharp, powerful surge of energy, you get nothing. Flatline. The biological equivalent of your alarm going off in an empty room. This is why you can sleep 9 hours and wake up feeling worse than when you went to bed. Your body attempted to wake itself up and failed. So you drifted in a half-sleep state, neither properly resting nor properly waking for hours. And here's the cruelest part of all. The more exhausted you feel, the more stressed you become. Living in permanent depletion is itself a form of chronic stress. You fall behind. You make mistakes. You feel less capable than you know you are. And that stress further breaks your cortisol system, which makes tomorrow morning worse, which generates more stress. The cycle runs itself. It can run for years. And the entire time, everyone around you is telling you that you just need more sleep. But broken cortisol is not the only thing stealing your nights. There is something else. Something that happens at 2 or 3 in the morning while you are completely unconscious. And it starts 6 hours earlier, on your dinner plate. Have you ever snapped awake at 2 or 3 in the morning for absolutely no reason? No noise, no nightmare. You just suddenly find yourself lying in the dark, heart beating slightly too fast, mind already racing, body weirdly alert. And then you lie there for an hour or two, completely unable to fall back asleep until exhaustion finally drags you under. And when your alarm goes off 2 hours later, you feel absolutely destroyed. Most people accept this as just how they sleep. Some nights are restless, that is life. But this is not random. This is not just how some people sleep. This is a biological emergency response, and it is being triggered by your dinner. Here's what is happening. When you eat a meal high in refined carbohydrates, bread, rice, pasta, anything sugary or processed, your blood sugar rises sharply. Your body releases insulin to bring it back down. But insulin is a powerful hormone, and it sometimes overshoots. It pulls your blood sugar lower than your body considers safe. And your body, which runs its survival systems throughout the night even while you're unconscious, detects this drop. It registers it as a threat, and it does what any survival system would do. It releases adrenaline and cortisol, emergency waking hormones, to signal your liver to release stored glucose and bring your blood sugar back up. Adrenaline does not ask permission. It does not check whether it is 2 a.m. It does not care that you have work in 4 hours. Its entire purpose is to wake you up, and it succeeds every single time. At 2 or 3 a.m, your body is flooded with stress chemicals because of pasta you ate 6 hours ago, and your sleep for the rest of that night is over in any meaningful sense. You might lie in bed for another 4 hours, but the restorative deep sleep, the REM sleep, the biological restoration, that is done, gone, and you will carry every minute of that loss through the entire following day. But there is another thief operating every night that is even more invisible than this one. It got into your life through a device you carry everywhere, and it has been working against your sleep from the moment you started using it. Inside your brain, there is a structure the size of a grain of rice that controls everything. Your sleep timing, your hormone cycles, your body temperature, your metabolism, your mood. Every biological rhythm your body runs on is governed by this tiny cluster of neurons called the suprachiasmatic nucleus, and it runs on one input above everything else: light. Specifically, it runs on blue light, the narrow band of the light spectrum that dominates at sunrise. When morning light hits your eyes, your master clock receives a signal. It is morning. Activate everything. Begin the day. When darkness falls and blue light disappears, the signal reverses. Begin releasing melatonin. Lower body temperature. Initiate sleep. This system has governed human sleep for the entire history of our species. It is precise, it is elegant, and it is completely dependent on one assumption that is no longer true: that blue light only appears at sunrise. Every screen you own emits blue light. Your phone, your laptop, your television, your tablet. Not a little blue light, a concentrated direct beam of the exact wavelength your master clock spent millions of years learning to interpret as morning sunshine. When you are in bed at 10 o'clock at night scrolling through your phone, your brain is not seeing someone relaxing before sleep. It is receiving a signal that is biologically identical to sunrise. Your melatonin is suppressed. Your cortisol stays elevated. Your entire system is told it is not time to sleep. It is morning. Stay awake. And so even when you put the phone down and close your eyes, your body is not ready. Research has shown that just 90 minutes of screen exposure in the evening can delay melatonin production by up to 90 minutes, which means the first 2 hours you spend lying in bed are not sleep. They are your body waiting for a permission signal that your phone delayed. You are losing 2 hours of sleep every single night, not because you went to bed late, because a device that was designed to capture your attention is, as a side effect, convincing your brain it is permanently daytime. But here's the twist that almost nobody sees coming. The deepest reason you cannot sleep has nothing to do with your brain or your hormones or your phone. It is happening somewhere most people would never think to look. Your gut is running your sleep, and nobody told you. Your digestive system contains over 500 million neurons, a network so vast and so complex that scientists have given it a name, the enteric nervous system, the second brain. And this second brain communicates directly and continuously with your actual brain through the vagus nerve, one of the most important neural pathways in your body. What happens in your gut is transmitted to your brain within seconds, and what your brain does with that information determines, among many other things, whether you sleep. Here's the number that will change how you think about this forever. Approximately 90% of your body's serotonin is produced in your gut, not your brain, your gut. Serotonin is known as your happiness chemical, but that is an enormous oversimplification. Serotonin is the direct chemical precursor to melatonin. Your body converts serotonin into melatonin, the same melatonin that tells your brain it is time to sleep. Which means the health of your gut microbiome, the trillions of bacteria living in your digestive system, directly determines how much melatonin your body can produce every single night. A gut that is inflamed from processed food, alcohol, antibiotics, or chronic stress produces less serotonin. Less serotonin becomes less melatonin. Less melatonin means worse sleep every night without you ever suspecting that your digestive system was involved. And the truly terrifying part is that you can have no obvious gut symptoms at all. No bloating, no discomfort, nothing that would ever make you connect your digestion to your sleep. The inflammation can be completely silent, invisible, running underneath the surface for years, sabotaging your sleep chemistry while every other explanation gets blamed, investigated, and dismissed. But even this is not the deepest layer of the story. Underneath it all, there is something your doctor has almost certainly never checked. Something that affects over 1 billion people worldwide. Something that has been hiding in your bloodstream all along. There are 4 things missing from your body right now. And there is a very good chance that nobody has ever told you, because nobody ever checked. Vitamin D, magnesium, iron, B12. 4 nutrients, over 1 billion people deficient in at least one of them, most of them exhausted, most of them told their results are normal because the tests that would reveal these deficiencies are not included in a standard blood panel unless you specifically ask for them by name, and most people do not know to ask. Vitamin D deficiency affects over 1 billion people globally. Its primary symptom is profound, relentless fatigue, not tiredness. Fatigue, the kind that makes getting out of bed feel like an athletic event. Vitamin D functions as a hormone in your body and directly regulates the genes that control your sleep-wake cycle. When your levels are low, your circadian rhythm loses precision, your deep sleep stages become shorter, your sleep quality deteriorates across the entire night. And if you work indoors, live far from the equator, or have darker skin, your risk of deficiency is dramatically elevated. Most people who are deficient have been deficient for years, and every single one of them has been told their results look fine. Magnesium participates in over 300 biochemical reactions in your body, including the activation of GABA receptors in your brain. GABA is your nervous system's off switch, the biological mechanism that tells your brain to stop firing and let you sleep. Without adequate magnesium, that off switch does not work properly. You lie in bed exhausted but wired, mind racing, body tense, unable to sink into the deep sleep that would actually restore you. Up to 80% of people in industrialized countries are magnesium deficient, not because they are eating badly by any conventional measure, but because industrial farming has stripped magnesium from the soil that grows our food over the past century. Iron deficiency means your red blood cells cannot carry enough oxygen to your muscles and your brain. Every cell in your body is running in a state of oxygen deprivation, and no amount of sleep can compensate for a cellular energy system operating on insufficient oxygen. The critical detail is this. The test most doctors run checks hemoglobin, not ferritin, and you can have critically low ferritin, your body's actual iron stores, while your hemoglobin appears completely normal. Billions of people are in this exact situation, told they're fine, running on empty, never knowing why. B12 maintains the protective sheath around your nerve fibers and supports red blood cell production. Deficiency causes fatigue, brain fog, and mood disruption that is clinically indistinguishable from depression. It develops slowly, silently, over months or years. By the time the symptoms are obvious, the deficiency has usually been running unchecked for a very long time. 4 nutrients hiding in plain sight in your own bloodstream, draining your energy every single day. And now you know they exist. Now let's fix it, because everything we have uncovered in this video is correctable, not with willpower, not with discipline, with specific, targeted actions that address the actual biological causes of your exhaustion, most of them free, all of them evidence-based. For your broken cortisol awakening response, go outside within 30 minutes of waking every single morning. No sunglasses. Let natural light reach your eyes directly. Even on a cloudy day, outdoor light is 10 to 50 times more intense than indoor lighting. This light signal hits your suprachiasmatic nucleus, triggers a healthy cortisol spike, and tells your biological clock precisely what time it is. Done consistently for 2 weeks, morning light exposure measurably restores a dysregulated cortisol rhythm. 10 minutes, free, every morning. That is the entire protocol. For your blood sugar crashes at 3 a.m, change your dinner. Eat your last meal at least 3 hours before bed. Make it protein and fat dominant rather than carbohydrate heavy. Protein and fat digest slowly. They maintain stable blood sugar across the entire night without the insulin spike and crash that sends adrenaline flooding through your system at 2 a.m. If you eat late, choose nuts, eggs, or cheese. Never bread, rice, or anything sweet. Most people who make this single change report their unexplained night waking stopping within 3 to 5 days. For your screen-disrupted melatonin, no bright screens after 9 p.m. If that feels impossible, invest in blue light blocking glasses. They filter the wavelength that suppresses your melatonin without affecting your vision. Add a warm bath or shower 60 to 90 minutes before bed. When your core body temperature rises and then drops as you cool down, your brain interprets the temperature decline as a sleep onset signal. You will fall asleep faster and reach deeper sleep sooner. These 2 changes together can restore meaningful melatonin production within 72 hours. For your gut, add fermented foods and prebiotic fiber to your daily eating. Yogurt, kefir, kimchi, and sauerkraut deliver beneficial bacteria directly into your gut environment. Garlic, onions, bananas, and oats feed the bacteria you already have. Research consistently shows that even modest improvements in gut microbiome diversity produce measurable increases in serotonin production within 3 to 4 weeks. No expensive supplements, real food. That is it. And for the nutrient deficiencies, get a blood panel. Specifically request ferritin, not just hemoglobin, serum vitamin D, B12, and magnesium. Use those exact words. These tests will not be ordered automatically. You have to ask. Once you know your numbers, the interventions are straightforward. Sunlight for vitamin D, dark leafy greens and pumpkin seeds for magnesium, red meat, eggs, and lentils for iron and B12. Targeted supplementation where levels are critically low. But you cannot fix what you cannot see. Get the map first. Here is what I need you to understand before you close this video. The exhaustion you have been living with is not stress. It is not age. It is not weakness or laziness or some personal failing you need to push harder against. It is your body talking clearly, consistently, urgently, telling you that something biological needs attention. Your sleep architecture is being cut short. Your cortisol awakening response is flatlining. Your blood sugar is triggering emergencies in the middle of the night. Your phone is convincing your brain it is permanently daytime. Your gut is producing less melatonin than you need. And 4 nutrients in your own bloodstream may be running critically low while test results tell you everything is fine. This is not bad luck. This is a system, a series of connected biological failures, each one feeding the others, each one contributing to the exhaustion you wake up with every morning. And every single one of them has a solution. Not a complicated one, not an expensive one, a precise one, targeted to the actual cause rather than the symptom. That is the difference between sleeping more and actually resting. You were not built for this. You were not designed to drag yourself through every single day running on empty, wondering why nothing ever helps. That is not the life your biology was designed for. And now you have something you did not have before this video. You have the real story, the complete picture, the map that the medical system never handed you. You know what to check. You know what to change. You know what questions to ask and why they matter. The only question left is what you do with it. If this video gave you something real, something that finally explains what you've been experiencing and nobody else has ever taken the time to tell you, subscribe to this channel, because this is what we do here every single week. We take the information that has been buried in research and locked behind medical jargon, and we bring it to you in a way that you can actually use. Your body has been trying to tell you something for a long time. Now you know how to listen. I'll see you in the next one.